I understand that this happened last week, and even though it's a major free speech thing that happened in Scotland, I haven't made a video about it on this channel, which is, the first thing you would expect. The reason I haven't is my daughter was born on St. Paddy's Day, so obviously since then I've been very, very, very busy, and I'm currently running on about 6 hours sleep. So my IQ has dropped considerably. I'm not focused. None of this feels real. I'm not sure if I'm awake or dreaming right now. Fatherhood's great. But yeah, basically, Hamza Yusuf and the SNP took away the human rights of 6 million people in Scotland, all because Hamza Yusuf got mean tweets. That literally is why he tried to pass this legislation. Hamza Yusuf, like one single politician, got mean tweets and so decided to take away the human rights of 6 million people. I mean, this is the political equivalent to getting bullied in class so you shoot up your entire school. That is what this legislation is, and I've got it here, and I'll include a link to this page down below. Basically, this hasn't been updated; it has actually passed stage 3 at this point, and it basically means if there are certain, particular protected groups, so the privileged groups, let's just be honest and call them what they are. They have special protections under law, so they are now privileged groups. If you say any, deriding comments, offensive comments, or anything like that, that stirs up hatred, right? Now, what does that mean? Well, it seems they don't know either because they don't actually define it in the bill. It's completely open to interpretation by any judge or prosecutor or anything like that, and basically a nice big fat legal grey area, which, governments love those. Governments love those. It basically means that they can bend the law to whatever way they need. What way do they need the law to suit them? They now have a nice grey area to turn it into whatever they need for the time. And basically, there are such fantastic things in this bill as, for example, being in possession of offensive memes or memes that could stir up hatred. What does that mean? Again, we don't know. So simply being in possession of offensive memes, or, now here's the fun part, or if you say something in your own home at the dinner table, and this thing could apparently stir up hatred, if someone at the dinner table decides to rat you out, you could face up to 7 years in prison. And just so you know, by the way, and that goes the same for possessing offensive memes as well. And one of the things that's going to come off from this is basically, where do you get offensive memes from? Well, you can get them from Twitter, Facebook, anything like that, which means you constantly access websites where there are such things. I mean, it works the exact same way as, like, for example, child porn. I mean, if you are going on a website all the time that hosts child porn, then you've probably got some child porn on your computer. That's enough for a warrant, which is fine. And as far as child porn goes, I've got no problem with that at all. But when it comes to offensive memes, who uses Facebook and Twitter and who uses like Reddit and all these places you get offensive memes? Well, absolutely everyone. Absolutely everyone uses those, which basically means that in order for them to get a warrant to search your electronic devices or seize your electronic devices, well, it's going to be so much easier. It is going to be extremely easy. Basically, absolute complete surveillance state. Warrants are now blank checks to the Scottish Government. And the fun thing about it is as well, the maximum sentence for these things is 7 years, right? The maximum sentence for possession of child porn in Scotland is 10 years. So basically, you can almost get the exact same maximum sentence as someone possessing child porn for having offensive memes in your phone, or saying a drunken uncle comment at the dinner table. Scotland has now officially become the most authoritarian part of the United Kingdom. In fact, it has probably now become the most authoritarian part of Europe, if you want to call it that. We're not European. Shut up, go away, Remainers. Right, but that is the case now. So the land of Scotland, freedom, Braveheart, is authoritarian now. It's authoritarian as hell. We now have a grey area law that literally enforces inequality by protecting special privileged classes. The government has now enforced inequality. It has now actually enforced inequality. And all of this came from Humza Yousaf getting mean tweets. Because he got some mean tweets, he decided to take away the human rights of 6 million people. Politicians, like basically constituents, should be able to enact votes of no confidence in their own MPs. Constituents should be able to enact votes of no confidence in their own MPs. Surveys were done. Over 80% of Scottish people did not want this law. Over 80% of Scottish people did not want this law, but the overwhelming majority of Scottish Parliament voted it in because MPs are absolutely clueless, and either clueless or simply do not care about what the Scottish people actually want. MPs did this to protect themselves. Oh, but I keep getting people saying mean things to me online. Then quit. Then quit. You are in the wrong job. You are in the wrong job. Imagine being so weak. But you're supposed to be a leader of this nation. You're supposed to be a leader. You're an MP. You're a person in government. You wield so much power, and yet, by passing this law, you've all proved that you are beyond weak. So, sorry, but you need to go. You need to go. Government, leading a nation, no place for weak people. No place for weak people who, because they get some mean comments on the internet, they pass a law that takes away everyone's human rights, even though the overwhelming majority of Scots did not want this. The SNP have to go. The SNP have to go. Elections are coming up in May. Make your vote count. I hope the Salmond Inquiry and all of this stuff just absolutely buries them. They are authoritarians, right? In fact, they're authoritarians that are centred around a nationalist message. There's a word for that. It's one that I've been called a lot. It escapes my mind. It's on the tip of my tongue, but whatever. I've had no sleep. Fuck the SNP, right? They just have to go. They just have to go. They're an absolute nonsense party that does not care the tiniest, slightest bit for the human rights of the Scottish people or what the Scottish people even want. This is a complete garbage, trash piece of legislation, right? It is a complete joke, right? Just, yeah, they've got to go. In May, make your vote count. Don't vote for the SNP. Usually I'm always like, oh, well, you know, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Vote for whoever you want. Blah, blah, blah. Get rid of the SNP. Get rid of them. They need out. Nobody wants an independent country that's going to be ruled by an iron fist. Right? Nobody wants that. If you want an independent Scotland with the SNP, you're going to get an East Germany, not an independent Scotland. Right? Just unironically get them out.